Your body is doing 50 weird things right now that you've never even noticed. And when I tell you number one, you'll never look at yourself the same way again. From phantom vibrations to spontaneous muscle spasms, we're counting down the strangest body glitches that happen to literally everyone but doctors just shrug off as normal. Number 50, the phantom phone vibration. You know that feeling when you're absolutely certain your phone just vibrated in your pocket, but when you check, nothing? This happens to 89% of phone users, and it's called phantom vibration syndrome. Your brain has literally rewired itself to expect notifications so much that it creates fake sensations. Scientists at Indiana University found that your nervous system becomes hypervigilant to any sensation near where you usually keep your phone. A shirt brushing against your leg, a muscle twitch, even your heartbeat can trigger this false alarm. The craziest part? This phenomenon didn't exist before 2007, making it the newest human body glitch in history. Number 49, the grocery store amnesia. Ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you're there? There's a scientific reason. It's called the doorway effect. Researchers at Notre Dame discovered that passing through doorways actually causes your brain to compartmentalize memories. Your hippocampus treats each room as a separate event boundary, literally filing away the previous room's thoughts. In their study, people forgot information 3 times more often after walking through a doorway versus walking the same distance in one room. Your brain is basically hitting a reset button every time you enter a new space. Number 48, the falling sensation before sleep. That sudden jolt where you feel like you're falling right as you drift off? It's called a hypnic jerk, and 70% of people experience it regularly. Here's what's really happening. As your brain transitions from wakefulness to sleep, there's a miscommunication between your nervous system and muscles. Your brain misinterprets the muscle relaxation as falling, so it sends an emergency signal to catch yourself. Some evolutionary biologists think this reflex kept our ancestors from falling out of trees while sleeping. You're literally experiencing a 300,000-year-old safety feature. Number 47, eye floaters that follow your vision. Those tiny squiggly lines or dots drifting across your vision aren't dust or bacteria. They're actually shadows cast by microscopic fibers inside your eyeball. Called muscae volitantes, Latin for flying flies, these are clumps of collagen floating in your vitreous humor, the jelly-like substance filling your eye. When light passes through, these clumps cast shadows on your retina. The weird part? They move when you try to look at them because they're literally floating in the fluid that moves when your eye moves. Everyone has them, but most brains learn to ignore them through neural adaptation. Number 46, the inexplicable déjà vu. Déjà vu affects 97% of people, yet scientists still can't fully explain it. The leading theory involves a glitch in your temporal lobe, where your brain accidentally processes new information through memory recall pathways. Essentially, your brain mistakenly files the present moment as a memory while you're still experiencing it. Brain scans show that during déjà vu, areas responsible for memory conflict with areas processing the present, creating that eerie, I've lived this before sensation. Even weirder? People with temporal lobe epilepsy can experience déjà vu for minutes or hours at a time. Number 45, random muscle twitches. That annoying eyelid twitch or random muscle spasm? It's called fasciculation, and it happens when individual motor neurons fire spontaneously. These benign twitches affect 70% of adults and can last anywhere from seconds to weeks. Common triggers include caffeine, stress, and electrolyte imbalances, but often there's no cause at all. Your muscles contain millions of fibers controlled by thousands of nerves, and sometimes these nerves just misfire like a glitchy computer program. The medical term literally translates to little bundle because that's exactly what's happening. A little bundle of muscle fibers going rogue. Number 44, brain freeze from cold foods. That stabbing headache from eating ice cream too fast has a scientific name. Sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia. When cold hits the roof of your mouth, blood vessels rapidly constrict then dilate, triggering pain receptors. But here's the weird part. The pain you feel is actually referred pain from your palate being interpreted by your brain as coming from your forehead. This happens because the trigeminal nerve carries signals from both areas. Scientists studying brain freeze discovered it might hold keys to understanding migraines, as the mechanism is surprisingly similar. Number 43, exploding head syndrome. Despite its terrifying name, exploding head syndrome is harmless, but incredibly startling. Sufferers hear extremely loud noises like explosions, crashes, or screams right as they fall asleep or wake up. It affects 18% of people at least once in their lifetime. The sounds aren't real. They're auditory hallucinations caused by delayed shutdown of auditory neurons in your brain. Imagine your brain as a computer shutting down, but the sound card glitches and plays random noise at maximum volume. Some people report seeing flashes of light too, suggesting multiple sensory systems can misfire during sleep transitions. Number 42, the white noise face phenomenon. Ever stared at TV static or a textured wall and started seeing faces? This is pareidolia, your brain's obsessive pattern recognition going into overdrive. The fusiform face area of your brain is so specialized for detecting faces that it finds them everywhere, even where none exist. This same mechanism is why you see animals in clouds or Jesus on toast. Evolutionarily, it was better to see a face that wasn't there, false positive, than miss a predator's face, false negative. Your brain is literally programmed to err on the side of seeing faces, making this glitch universal across all humans. Number 41, sudden ringing in one ear. That random high-pitched ringing that appears in one ear then fades? It's called spontaneous tinnitus, and it happens to everyone. For 10-30 seconds, you'll hear a pure tone that seems to come from nowhere. Scientists believe it's caused by random firing of auditory nerve fibers or temporary spasms in tiny ear muscles. Some researchers think it might be your ear's way of calibrating itself, like a computer running a diagnostic test. The frequency is usually around 4,000 Hz, which coincidentally is the frequency most damaged by loud noise exposure. Number 40, the Pee Shiver. That involuntary shudder during or after urination? It has a medical name, post-micturition convulsion syndrome. It predominantly affects males and involves a complex interaction between your nervous system and temperature regulation. When you release warm urine, your body temperature drops slightly. Combined with a parasympathetic nervous system activation during urination, this can trigger a reflexive shiver. Some scientists theorize it's an evolutionary remnant from marking territory in cold climates. The shiver would help disperse scent markers. Whatever the reason, it affects up to 83% of men and 58% of women. Number 39, phantom smells. Ever caught a whiff of something that isn't there? Phantosmia affects 1 in 15 people over 40. Your olfactory system can spontaneously fire, creating smells ranging from pleasant, flowers, cookies, to awful, burning rubber, rotten eggs. Unlike other senses, smell directly connects to your limbic system, the brain's emotion and memory center. This is why phantom smells often trigger powerful memories or emotions. The phenomenon can be triggered by sinus infections, migraines, or even just random neural misfiring. Some people smell the same phantom scent repeatedly, suggesting their brain has created a smell memory that randomly replays. Number 38, the stranger hand effect. Sit on your hand until it goes numb, then touch your face. It feels like someone else's hand is touching you. This happens because you've temporarily disabled proprioception, your sense of where your body parts are in space. Your brain relies on constant feedback from nerve endings to maintain your body image. When that feedback stops, your brain literally forgets that body part belongs to you. MRI scans show that the parietal lobe, responsible for body ownership, reduces activity during this numbness. For a brief moment, your own hand becomes alien to your brain. Number 37, contagious yawning. Reading about yawning makes you yawn, and you probably just did. Contagious yawning affects 60–70% of people and only occurs in species with complex social cognition, humans, chimps, and dogs. Brain imaging shows that seeing someone yawn activates your mirror neuron system, the same neurons that fire when you perform an action yourself. But here's the weird part. Psychopaths and young children, under 4, don't experience contagious yawning, suggesting it's linked to empathy development. The more empathetic you are, the more likely you are to catch yawns. Number 36, sleep paralysis. Waking up unable to move or speak affects 8% of people regularly. During REM sleep, your brain paralyzes your body to prevent you from acting out dreams. Sometimes you wake up before this paralysis lifts, leaving you conscious but immobile. The real terror comes from hallucinations. 75% of sufferers report seeing shadowy figures or feeling a presence. This happens because your brain is still partially in dream mode, projecting dream imagery onto reality. Cultures worldwide have names for these visitors: the old hag, pinion, or shadow people. You're literally trapped between sleeping and waking. Number 35, the internal monologue divide. Here's a mind-blowing fact. Not everyone has an internal monologue. Studies suggest 30–50% of people don't hear a voice in their head when thinking. They think in abstract concepts, images, or feelings instead of words. If you're in the verbal thought camp, you literally hear these words I'm saying in your head right now. If not, you're processing the meaning without the mental narration. Brain scans show completely different neural activation patterns between verbal and nonverbal thinkers. This fundamental difference in consciousness was only discovered in the 1990s. Number 34, photic sneeze reflex. Do you sneeze when looking at bright lights? You have ACHOO syndrome. Yes, that's the real medical acronym. Autosomal dominant compelling helio-ophthalmic outburst. This affects 18–35% of people and is genetic. If one parent has it, you have a 50% chance. The optic nerve runs close to the trigeminal nerve, which controls sneezing. In some people, these wires are essentially crossed. Bright light signals overflow from the optic nerve to the trigeminal nerve, triggering a sneeze. Fighter pilots with this condition are banned from flying, as sun glare could cause uncontrollable sneezing at critical moments. Number 33, earworm songs. That song stuck on repeat in your head has a name: involuntary musical imagery, affecting 98% of people. These earworms typically last 8 seconds and loop 20–30 times before fading. Research shows they're more likely to be songs with unexpected melodic intervals or unusual rhythms. Your brain keeps replaying them, trying to predict the pattern. The auditory cortex shows the same activation when imagining music as when actually hearing it. Chewing gum can help stop earworms by engaging the motor cortex, which interferes with the sub-vocalization process your brain uses to play the song. Number 32, visual snow. Some people see the world like an old TV with bad reception. Tiny flickering dots covering their entire visual field 24/7. Visual snow syndrome affects 2% of the population, but many don't realize others don't see this way. It's not eye damage, it's a processing error in the visual cortex. Your brain normally filters out neural noise, but in visual snow, this filter malfunctions. Sufferers also report seeing afterimages, halos, and enhanced pattern recognition. Some researchers believe everyone has visual snow, but most brains successfully suppress it from conscious awareness. Number 31, the call of the void. Standing on a cliff or tall building and suddenly thinking about jumping. Even though you're not suicidal, the French call it l'appel du vide, call of the void, and it affects over 50% of people. This isn't a death wish. It's your brain's safety system misfiring. When you perceive danger, your survival instinct says, move away from the edge. But your brain sometimes misinterprets this signal as, you must want to jump, otherwise why would you need this warning? It's essentially your wires getting crossed between recognizing danger and creating the impulse. People with higher anxiety experience this more frequently. Number 30, autonomous sensory meridian response, ASMR. Those tingles from certain sounds or visuals physically affects only 20% of the population. fMRI scans show ASMR activates the same brain regions as social bonding and grooming behaviors in primates. The tingles typically start at the scalp and travel down the spine, triggered by whispers, tapping, or personal attention. But here's the weird part. People either experience ASMR intensely or not at all. There's no middle ground. Those who experience it show different default mode network connectivity in their brains, suggesting their neurons are literally wired differently. Number 29, time dilation during emergencies. During car crashes or falls, time seems to slow down. But it's not like the movies. Your brain doesn't actually process faster, instead it records more densely. The amygdala, activated during fear, forces your brain to encode memories in extreme detail. When you recall the event, the abundance of details makes it seem like it lasted longer. Researchers tested this by dropping volunteers from 150-foot towers. Subjects consistently overestimated the fall duration by 36%. Your brain is literally creating a slow-motion replay by cramming more data into each second of memory. Number 28, sleep-talking revelations. Up to 66% of people talk in their sleep. But here's the creepy part. Sleep talkers can have full conversations, answer questions, and even speak languages they're learning but can't speak while awake. The speech centers of your brain can activate independently during non-REM sleep, bypassing the usual conscious filters. Sleep researchers recorded one man fluently speaking Welsh, a language he'd been studying for months but couldn't speak when awake. Another woman would accurately solve math problems in her sleep, but couldn't remember the solutions upon waking. Your unconscious mind has abilities your conscious mind can't access. Number 27, the Tetris Effect. Play any repetitive game long enough, and you'll start seeing it everywhere. Named after Tetris, this effect causes your brain to continue processing patterns even when you're not playing. Tetris players report seeing falling blocks when closing their eyes, mentally rotating real objects to make them fit, and even dreaming in Tetris patterns. Brain scans show that the visual and spatial processing areas remain hyperactive for hours after gaming. This isn't limited to Tetris. Surgeons see surgical procedures, programmers see code, and chess players see board positions. Your brain gets stuck in pattern recognition overdrive. Number 26, nocturnal lagophthalmos. About 20% of people sleep with their eyes partially open. And most don't know it. Nocturnal lagophthalmos occurs when your eyelids don't fully close during sleep. Your eyes can dry out, leading to irritation, blurred vision, and that gritty feeling in the morning. But here's the unsettling part. You can still experience REM sleep with open eyes, meaning your eyes are literally moving and watching your dreams while exposed. Some people's eyes are open enough that observers can see their pupils tracking dream imagery. Partners often report it's deeply disturbing to witness. Number 25, the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. Learn a new word, and suddenly you see it everywhere. This frequency illusion happens because your brain has two systems working against you. First, selective attention makes you notice the word now that it's flagged as important. Second, confirmation bias makes you think it's appearing more often than before. Your brain literally filters reality based on recent experiences. Studies show that after learning something new, your reticular activating system, the brain's attention center, remains primed to spot it for 48 to 72 hours. You're not going crazy. Your brain is just temporarily reprogramming what it considers worth noticing. Number 24, cortical spreading depression. Ever see zigzag patterns or shimmering lights before a headache? You're watching your brain malfunction in real time. This visual aura is caused by a wave of electrical depression spreading across your visual cortex at 3 mm per minute. As this wave moves, it temporarily shuts down neural activity, creating blind spots that your brain fills with patterns. The zigzag fortification patterns people see match the geometric organization of neurons in the visual cortex. You're literally seeing your brain's architecture. This same phenomenon happens in all migraines, but only 30% of people consciously perceive the visual distortions. Number 23, formication. The feeling of insects crawling on or under your skin when nothing's there affects up to 20% of people. Named from the Latin for ant, formication occurs when nerve fibers spontaneously fire, creating false tactile sensations. Your brain interprets these random signals as movement on your skin. The sensation is so realistic that sufferers often develop delusional parasitosis, becoming convinced they're infested despite no evidence. Brain scans show the same regions activate during formication as during real touch, meaning your brain literally can't tell the difference between imagination and reality. Number 22, third eyelid remnant. Look at the inner corner of your eye, that pink, fleshy bit. That's your plica semilunaris, the remnant of a third eyelid. Humans lost the ability to move this membrane millions of years ago, but it's still partially functional. It produces rheum, that crusty stuff in your eyes when you wake up. Some people can still partially activate the muscles around it, making it twitch or move slightly. In rare cases, this vestigial structure can become inflamed or even develop its own tumors. You're carrying around a useless piece of evolutionary history that occasionally decides to malfunction. Number 21, Aphantasia discovery. Close your eyes and picture an apple. If you see nothing, just blackness, you might have aphantasia affecting 3 to 5% of people. These individuals have no mind's eye. They can't visualize anything mentally. When asked to imagine a beach, they know conceptually what a beach is, but see no mental image. Brain scans show their visual cortex doesn't activate during imagination tasks. Even wilder. Most aphantasics don't realize others can actually see mental images until adulthood. They thought, picture this was just a figure of speech. Conversely, some people have hyperphantasia, mental imagery so vivid it rivals real perception. Number 20, midnight leg cramps. Those excruciating calf cramps that jolt you awake affect 60% of adults. Here's what's happening. Your muscle fibers contract, but fail to relax, creating a sustained spasm. The exact cause remains mysterious, but theories include nerve misfiring, electrolyte imbalances, or your brain misinterpreting sleep position signals. The pain is so intense because your muscle is literally tearing itself at the microscopic level. The same damage as intense exercise, but concentrated in seconds. Some people's cramps are so severe they can't walk normally for days afterward, all from a glitch lasting under a minute. Number 19, phosphonies. Rub your eyes and see those swirling colors and patterns. Those are phosphons, light perception without light entering your eye. Mechanical pressure on your eyeball stimulates retinal cells, which your brain interprets as light. But here's where it gets weird. Everyone sees different phosphine patterns based on their unique retinal structure. Astronauts report seeing phosphine flashes in space from cosmic rays hitting their retinas. Some meditation practitioners can trigger elaborate phosphine displays through concentration alone. You can literally create your own light show by manipulating the electrical activity in your visual system. Number 18, semantic satiation. Repeat any word 30 times and it loses all meaning, becoming just noise. This semantic satiation happens because neurons responsible for processing that word literally become fatigued from overuse. Brain scans show activity in language centers dramatically decreases after repetition. The word temporarily disconnects from its meaning in your neural network. This same mechanism explains why your own name can suddenly sound foreign if you say it repeatedly. Some therapists use this phenomenon to help patients overcome negative thought patterns by repeating feared words until they become meaningless sounds. Number 17, proprioceptive drift. Your brain's map of your body constantly updates and can be hacked. In the rubber hand illusion, stroking a fake hand while your real hand is hidden causes your brain to adopt the fake hand as your own. Brain scans show your parietal lobe literally remaps body ownership in real time. This drift explains why amputees feel phantom limbs. Their brain's body map hasn't updated. VR researchers use proprioceptive drift to make people feel ownership of virtual bodies. Your sense of self is surprisingly flexible. Your brain will claim ownership of anything that moves in sync with your intentions. Number 16, chronostasis. Look at a clock with a second hand, then quickly look away and back. The second hand seems to freeze momentarily. This stopped clock illusion occurs because your brain backfills the moment during your eye movement, saccade, with the first thing it sees afterward. During saccades, you're technically blind, but your brain hides this by extending your perception of the next image backwards in time. You experience this hundreds of times daily without noticing. VR developers struggle with this phenomenon because our brains expect this temporal distortion. Realistic VR must artificially create chronostasis to feel natural. Number 15, Ganzflicker. Stare at a strobe light with closed eyes and you'll see incredibly complex geometric patterns called Ganzflicker. Different frequencies produce different patterns. 10 Hz creates tunnels, 15 Hz produces spirals, 20 Hz shows honeycomb structures. You're witnessing your visual cortex's fundamental architecture. These patterns match the mathematical models of how neurons are arranged in your brain. Some frequencies can trigger altered states of consciousness or even seizures. Ancient cultures used flickering firelight to induce visions. They were literally hacking their visual cortex thousands of years before we understood the mechanism. Number 14, bilateral synchronization. Your body randomly synchronizes movements without your awareness. Watch someone walking. Their arms swing in perfect opposition to their legs. This bilateral coordination is controlled by central pattern generators in your spinal cord that operate independently of conscious thought. But here's the glitch. Stress or fatigue can break this synchronization. Some people temporarily lose coordinated arm swing, walking with arms frozen at their sides. Your spinal cord is running ancient movement programs that occasionally crash, leaving you moving like a malfunctioning robot until the system reboots. Number 13, the doorbell syndrome. Ever been absolutely certain you heard the doorbell or phone ring while showering? Phantom doorbell syndrome affects millions, particularly with sounds we're conditioned to respond to. White noise from showers or fans contains all frequencies, and your brain's pattern recognition frantically searches for important sounds within this noise. It occasionally constructs false positives, literally hallucinating expected sounds. Your auditory cortex shows identical activation for these phantom sounds as real ones. The more anxiously you expect a sound, the more likely your brain is to manufacture it from random noise. Number 12, microsleeps. You can fall asleep for 1 to 10 seconds without knowing it. During microsleeps, parts of your brain shut down while others remain active. You might continue activities like driving or conversation while partially unconscious. Brain scans show that sleep-deprived individuals have random neural columns entering sleep states while surrounding areas stay awake. This creates a patchwork of sleeping and waking brain tissue. Most terrifying, you have no memory of microsleeps. You could be experiencing dozens daily, losing minutes of consciousness that your brain seamlessly edits out of your experience. Number 11, the pulsating vision. In darkness, some people see their entire visual field pulsating in sync with their heartbeat. This happens because in absence of light, your brain amplifies any available signal, including blood pulsing through retinal vessels. You're literally seeing your own blood flow. This phenomenon is why astronauts report seeing flashes synchronized with their pulse. In the darkness of space, every heartbeat creates a visual pulse. Some meditation practitioners use this as a focus technique, watching their heartbeat through closed eyes. Your cardiovascular system is creating its own light show. Number 10, nocturnal groaning. Cataphrenia causes people to hold their breath, then slowly exhale while groaning during sleep. And they have no idea they're doing it. These groans can last 30 seconds and repeat throughout the night. Unlike snoring, which happens during inhalation, cataphrenia occurs during extended exhalation. The sound originates from vocal cords vibrating under prolonged pressure. Sleep studies show sufferers' brain waves remain in deep sleep during episodes. Partners report the groaning sounds like words or even sentences, but it's just random vocal cord vibrations. You might be performing nightly concerts without knowing it. Number 9, body temperature delusions. Your perception of temperature is shockingly unreliable. In the thermal grill illusion, alternating warm and cool bars create a burning sensation, even though nothing is actually hot. Your brain averages temperature inputs incorrectly, creating pain from harmless stimuli. This same glitch explains why metal feels colder than wood at the same temperature. Your brain confuses heat transfer rate with actual temperature. Some people have permanently miscalibrated temperature perception, feeling burning sensations from lukewarm water or sensing cold from neutral objects. Your thermal perception system is basically guessing and often gets it catastrophically wrong. Number 8, spontaneous human combustion sensation. Some people experience intense burning sensations with no external cause. Their skin feels on fire but shows no damage. This neuropathic phenomenon occurs when pain receptors fire without stimulation. Brain imaging reveals their pain centers activate identically to actual burns. The sensation can last hours and typically affects extremities. Unlike psychological pain, this has measurable neurological activity. Your pain system can essentially hallucinate injuries that don't exist. Some sufferers describe feeling their bones burning from the inside. Medical science can observe the neural activity but can't explain why it spontaneously occurs. Number 7, Cheshire Cat Syndrome. Stare at someone's face in dim light for 10 minutes, and it will transform into a monster. The Troxler effect causes peripheral details to fade, leaving floating features, often just eyes and mouth, like the Cheshire Cat. Your brain then tries to fill in the missing pieces, creating grotesque distortions. Participants report seeing animals, demons, or deceased relatives. This isn't imagination. Your fusiform face area is literally reconstructing faces from incomplete data. The same effect explains why mirrors seem creepy in darkness. Your face recognition system breaks down in low light, turning familiar faces into nightmares. Number 6. Alien limb phenomenon. Sometimes your limbs move completely without your permission. Alien hand syndrome causes purposeful movements you didn't initiate. Your hand might unbutton shirts you just buttoned or put down objects you're trying to use. Brain scans show the motor cortex activating without prefrontal cortex involvement. Movement without intention. One patient's left hand would repeatedly try to strangle her while sleeping. Unlike reflexes, these are complex, goal-directed actions. Your brain contains multiple movement systems that usually cooperate but can operate independently. You're essentially multiple entities sharing one body, usually voting together but capable of rebellion. Number 5, the reality monitoring failure. Your brain constantly decides whether experiences are real or imagined, and regularly gets it wrong. In source monitoring errors, imagined events get filed as real memories. Brain scans show that vividly imagined experiences activate identical neural pathways as real ones. This explains false memories. Your brain literally cannot distinguish between detailed imagination and reality. Studies show people can be convinced they committed crimes they didn't do just through guided imagination. Every memory you have could potentially be fantasy misfiled as fact. Your entire personal history might contain fictional episodes your brain mistakenly marked as real. Number 4, temporal displacement. Déjà vu is a terrifying opposite. Jamais vu, where familiar things suddenly seem completely alien. Your own home, family, or reflection become unrecognizable. This occurs when recognition circuits temporarily fail, disconnecting emotional familiarity from visual processing. Sufferers describe looking at loved ones and seeing strangers wearing their faces. Unlike amnesia, you retain all memories. They just feel like someone else's. The effect usually lasts minutes but can persist for hours. Your sense of familiarity is just another brain process that can glitch, potentially making your entire life feel like it belongs to someone else. Number 3, consciousness lag. Your consciousness runs on a 500 millisecond delay, but your brain hides this through predictive processing. Every experience you have already happened half a second ago. Your brain shows you its prediction, not reality. This is proven through experiments where brain activity predicting your decisions occurs before you're consciously aware of deciding. You're literally living in your brain's simulation of what it thinks just happened. When predictions fail, you experience glitches, like when you miss a step you expected to be there. Free will might be an illusion created by this delay between unconscious decision and conscious experience. Number 2, the switching hour. Between 3 and 4 a.m., your body undergoes its deepest biological shift. Core temperature drops to its lowest, melatonin peaks, and cortisol bottoms out. This is when most natural deaths occur. Your body is literally closest to shutting down. But here's the glitch. Some people partially wake during this transition, experiencing sleep paralysis, hallucinations, or profound existential dread. Medieval cultures called this the devil's hour because the physiological symptoms match supernatural encounters. Your brain, running on minimum power, can't properly distinguish internal sensations from external reality. Those 3 a.m. demons might just be your biology hitting its daily reboot. Number 1, the immortal cell line. Here's the ultimate body glitch that will blow your mind. You're not entirely human. Your body contains more bacterial cells than human cells. You're a walking ecosystem where human DNA is the minority. But it goes deeper. Scientists discovered that 8% of your DNA is viral in origin. Ancient retroviruses that infected our ancestors and became part of our genome. These viral sequences are active, producing proteins essential for pregnancy and brain function. Even wilder, some of your cells are immortal. HeLa cells taken from Henrietta Lacks in 1951 still divide today. Scientists estimate more HeLa cells exist now than were ever in her body. Under the right conditions, your cells can achieve biological immortality, dividing forever. You're not just one organism. You're a colony of human, bacterial, and viral life, carrying immortal potential in every cell. Your body isn't malfunctioning. It's revealing that you're far stranger than you ever imagined. So there you have it. 50 body glitches proving you're basically a biological computer running on ancient software, full of bugs that haven't been patched in millions of years? The next time you experience any of these glitches, remember, you're not broken, you're just human. And that's the biggest glitch of all. Which of these glitches do you experience most often? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing countdowns about the weird world of science.